Technology integration is a top priority inside one classroom at Kindred Elementary. Third grade teacher Teresa Arredondo recognizes the importance in developing lessons that encourage the use of technology in multiple areas of the curriculum. Throughout the school year, students have been using computer programs to build on their 21st century skills that are necessary for future success. They are excited about the possibilities and understand that technology is a tool to help them improve their own personal productivity.
We've used it with Microsoft Word, Microsoft Publisher, Microsoft PowerPoint. We did the photo story on landforms. We learned how to get pictures from Bing.
I think it would help me because when I get older, I can know what to do, and they could maybe teach me more of what to do.
My goal is for the kids to be better thinkers, because when they use technology, I'm not leading the lesson. They're actually doing it on themselves. So they're thinking that makes them think beyond. They have to sit there in front of the computer and think, what am I going to do next? It's not like me that I would tell them, step by step. Teacher-led, we have to do teacher-led lessons, of course. But when kids use technology, they can actually, because they're actively learning and they're engaged in what they're doing. And it's coming out of them. It's their own work. And that's basically what you want them to be as adults, because they need to know these things. Usually I start planning by just like if, for example, if I have a certain concept or we're touching on certain skills, I kind of think about how I can implement some technology with it. An example of that would be like when we do our reading vocabulary. The kids will do their vocabulary on PowerPoint. They use the clip art from the Microsoft PowerPoint, and they find the definition. It's kind of like the FIRE model for SIAP. So that helps the kids because they can illustrate, they write a sentence, they also know how to check their spelling and things like that. So it takes planning. Sometimes if I have to think about it, like if there's like a particular science concept, like for example, or skill, like landforms, I'll just try to integrate. And it takes a while. Sometimes I can't come up with things, and it's not that easy, but I try to integrate it as much as I can. Right. And of course, you have to show them all those things. So at the beginning of the year, things weren't getting done a whole bunch because I had to stop and show them and practice. But now it's gotten to the part where we're already halfway, and I'm amazed how fast they pick up and they remember. We're actually in science where we're talking about the natural world, and it came up to like landforms. So I thought, for me, instead of me teaching them what landforms and what features landforms have, I thought, why don't they just research it themselves? And then I thought, how can I incorporate technology in that? So I thought maybe photo story. I've never done photo story with the group. This is the first year that I've done photo story with this group, and it's because the practice. So basically, photo story, you insert pictures and stuff like that. They know how to do things like that. So what I did is I modeled it first in the classroom, and then from modeling, I kind of show them where to go to photo story, and that they're going to import pictures. So I kind of like do a little practice with them. I'll insert pictures and show them how it's like a time frame. It's like a frame thing. And then what I do is, because it gets overwhelming with all the kids, when we go to computer lab, I go to computer, every day, Monday through Friday. There are times that we skip, but mostly Monday through Friday. And I will take the 4 kids that I know that they're good at technology. They can pick up faster. And I teach them, I show them, and I stand there with them, and I guide them through one. And then they pick up and they start inserting, and then they narrate, and they did the whole thing. Once I teach them, then I take those 5 and I tell them, you're going to teach this other person. So now that makes 10, and then I take one for myself. And then those same 5 out of those 10, I pick another 5, and they go show the other kids. And by the time you know it, all 22 of my kids will come up with a project.
The things that we have learned on the computer could also help, because I want to be a scientist about, like, to help with planets, to do things with planets, and that could help us do slideshows about planets.
When I get older, it's gonna help me with me being a meteorologist. By studying the weather.
Technology is great. You can see, a difference with your kids. I mean, I know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work because, I'm constantly looking for stuff at home, looking for things to do. I have to constantly be going to the internet myself and finding ways how I can integrate it. And now with the iPad, all those apps and stuff, and I have to practice them at home so I can be familiar with that. But things can be done, slowly, and just not to be afraid, those things. And I think throughout the years, because 10 years ago, I was afraid to touch a computer. I literally was. I thought, the minute I touch it, I'm going to break it. Now I feel so comfortable with it. I'm not where I want to actually be, but it's getting closer, and hopefully, I know I'll never catch up because technology is always changing. I don't know, and then kids, with all these gadgets they have at home and stuff, that's the only way you can entertain them, and it's the world. It's just fast, and we have to keep up with that and try to match to what they're actually going to grow up to be like. People that are going to work with technology things, that's where it's geared.